Hello, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome to another Presentation Wizards podcast. I am your host, Peter Ward. Today's topic is advocacy and public speaking. For any advocacy campaign to work, there must be spokespeople who are knowledgeable and skilled in delivering the message. That spokesperson may vary with the audience and medium. Every organization should have a policy that defines who speaks for the organization and when. All advocates must ask themselves some basic questions. Number 1. How do you rate your confidence in delivering the advocacy message? Number 2. How do you rate your ability to organize an advocacy presentation? Number 3. How do you rate your ability to create an enticing introduction and a compelling ending? How do you rate your use of visual aids to enhance your advocacy presentation and your energy during your advocacy presentation? Speaking to groups is one of the most effective ways of reaching out to others to share your concerns and request their support. The best speakers know the message and can deliver it in a way that addresses the needs and interests of various audiences and media. Most important, they aren't afraid to let their enthusiasm show. Although a script may be provided, it's imperative that speakers take time to add their own stories and examples and to make any changes appropriate for the group they are addressing. Special training and presentation skills should be provided to all members of the organization's Speakers Bureau. This training should include the use of handouts and aids, such as video or PowerPoint presentation, but it should focus on speaking passionately and persuasively about advocacy. Although visual aids may enhance the message, they are no substitute for a dynamic speaker. Engaging an audience involves gaining their attention, establishing a rapport with them, disclosing the purpose of your message, and motivating them to listen. Find out about your audience. Who will be there? How many and how old are they? As well as their education, income, and any special interests or concerns they may have about what you're talking about. Personalize your remarks. Show your enthusiasm. That is what sells the message. The organization of your message should be clear, simple, and easy to follow. Keep your remarks brief, about 20 minutes, plus questions. Speak in terms of benefits to your audience. Tell them why they should care. Follow the golden rule of public speaking. Tell your audience what you're going to tell them, and then, in your conclusion, tell them what you told them. State your message clearly. Your central or key message should be one that is simply and consistently communicated, whether in a radio interview or over the backyard fence. The key message should be easily adapted for various audiences. For each group, you want to have talking points, stories, and examples that address its particular needs and interests. This set of core messages will provide the basis for presentations to groups, articles and newsletter, news releases, letters to the editor, and other communications. You will also want to have a clear call to action. What do you want each group to do? Be prepared to give concrete ways each group can demonstrate its support. Have a clear message and call to action. Stick to 3 main points. Tell the audience why your message is important to them and what is it exactly that you want them to do. Dress in a businesslike way. that will make a favorable impression. Jacket and tie for men, suit with open collar blouse for women. Vibrant colors such as blue, teal, rose, red, and burgundy. Extra heavy makeup in your normal shades. Don't wear bold plaids, large, or busy prints. Anything too trendy. Colors that are very dark or very light. Noisy or dangling jewelry. Don't wear a hairstyle that needs to be swept back and sleeveless or low-cut blouses or dresses. Make sure that your facial expressions are appropriate. Remember to smile. Keep eye contact with your audience. Make sure that your gestures are simple but appropriate for the message. Keep in mind your posture and movements. Be aware of what you're saying and how it sounds. Be enthusiastic, animated, and conversational. Use a clear, strong voice. Pace your presentation. Talk. Don't read. The conclusion of your message should tell the audience what you want them to do. Be specific and clear. Thank them for their time and attention. Evaluate your adequacy presentation. Take a friend with you to the speaking engagement. Let them tell you how the presentation made them feel. Did your presentation engage the audience? Did you stay on message? And did you tell the audience what it is that you want them to do? Here is actor Leo DiCaprio making an advocacy presentation to the General Assembly of the United Nations.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. I am honored to be here today. I stand before you not as an expert, but as a concerned citizen. One of the 400,000 people who marched in the streets of New York on Sunday, and the billions of others around the world who want to solve our climate crisis. As an actor, I pretend for a living. I play fictitious characters, often solving fictitious problems. I believe that mankind has looked at climate change in that same way, as if it were a fiction, as if pretending that climate change wasn't real would somehow make it go away. But I think we all know better than that now. Every week we're seeing new and undeniable climate events, evidence that accelerated climate change is here right now. Droughts are intensifying, our oceans are acidifying, with methane plumes rising up from the ocean floor. We are seeing extreme weather events and the West Antarctic and Greenland ice sheets melting at unprecedented rates, decades ahead of scientific projections. None of this is rhetoric, and none of it is hysteria. It is fact. The scientific community knows it, industry knows it, governments know it, even the United States military knows it. The chief of the U.S. Navy's Pacific Command, Admiral Samuel Locklear, recently said that climate change is our single greatest security threat. My friends, this body, perhaps more than any other gathering in human history, now faces this difficult but achievable task. You can make history, or you will be vilified by it. To be clear, this is not about just telling people to change their light bulbs or to buy a hybrid car. This disaster has grown beyond the choices that individuals make. This is now about our industries and our governments around the world taking decisive, large-scale action. Now must be our moment for action. We need to put a price tag on carbon emissions and eliminate government subsidies for oil, coal, and gas companies. We need to end the free ride that industrial polluters have been given in the name of a free market economy. They do not deserve our tax dollars. They deserve our scrutiny, for the economy itself will die if our ecosystems collapse. The good news is that renewable energy is not only achievable, but good economic policy. This is not a partisan debate, it is a human one. Clean air and a livable climate are inalienable human rights. And solving this crisis is not a question of politics, it is a question of our own survival. This is the most urgent of times and the most urgent of messages. Honored delegates, leaders of the world, I pretend for a living, but you do not. The people made their voices heard on Sunday around the world, and the momentum will not stop. But now it is your turn. The time to answer humankind's greatest challenge is now. We beg of you to face it with courage and honesty. Thank you.
Practice a conversational style of delivery that will allow you to look at the audience most of the time. It's a good idea to have a script in large print or notes. It's not a good idea to read your remarks. Cut out the jargon.